Hello, friends, and happy Thursday, and welcome to today's live level up conversation. Let's get started.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Award-winning financial pro. Get ready. Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome to the show. And happy Thursday, happy Halloween to you, and hope you're enjoying the day. I know, with the election next week, I feel like a lot of people weren't as planning in terms of Halloween this year. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully, if you have a youngster at home, they've gone ahead and gotten into the spirit, maybe doing some trick or treating later today. But let's get started because it's a pretty scary day in the financial markets today. Unfortunately, the Dow is currently down 192 points. Nasdaq is down a whopping 400. Yikes! And the S&P 500 is down about 77 as well. We've only got about a little bit more than 10 minutes left in the financial market, so I think it's pretty safe to say it's not going to be looking too great as it closes, but that's okay. Just one day in the broad scope of things. So hopefully, you don't need to make any drastic change anytime soon. For those of you who are brand new to the show, though, welcome to the show. I'm Winnie, your host, an award-winning financial pro, a Forbes contributor, and a CNBC council member and contributor as well. We are streaming here live on many different social media platforms. So definitely jump in, say hello. I see CrossX Fighter already on YouTube Live. Always a treat to have you here, my friend. I'm so glad that you're here. A big thank you to Joshua. And let's talk about the market. All right. So we are seeing, of course, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ S&P down considerably today. Some of that, though, of course, we can expect volatility, of course, at any normal day, but especially since it's a week before a historical election, I think you're seeing some of that trickle in as well. Then another thing that I want to share with you that was reported on CNBC, though, is that there's been some talk about artificial intelligence. Now, we've been talking about artificial intelligence being the second major industrial revolution coming now, but industry experts are saying that, well, some of that enthusiasm around artificial intelligence or AI is starting to fade. Like, do you agree or disagree with that point? But, a lot of investors and people in general have certain growth expectations of this industry. And they're saying that, well, they were hoping for more, hoping for it to be better, but we'll see. I don't know. I feel like AI is incredible. And what we've developed in artificial intelligence, which doesn't feel like it's been that long, has been nothing short of incredible in terms of the efficiency it's brought back in my own personal work life. So they're saying, of course, there's going to be more tech earnings being revealed this week. And of course, there's also been the number of the personal consumption expenditures index showing that inflation at 2.1% in September is very close to the Fed's 2% target rate. So that's good. So this could possibly influence the upcoming Fed rate decision in just a couple weeks from now on November 7th, in fact. So we know that there continues to be political uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen with the historical election next week. Your guess is as good as mine. It seems like it's everything I've been reading seems like it's a very, very tight race until the finale. But that being said, let's continue on and let's talk about business news because there's a lot that's happening this week. And I want to share with you one being shared on CNBC talking about Comcast. So Comcast, this is shared by Lillian Rizzo. Comcast has announced that it's going to be evaluating a potential separation of its cable networks, which could actually form a standalone company retaining NBC and Peacock. So this change is driven by the rapid decline of, your traditional cable subscribers. Yes, that is still a thing. In fact, my dentist is still a traditional cable subscriber. Actually, one of the few that I know of. So streaming, as you know, has drawn away millions from these pay TV bundles. So this new proposal, sharing their Comcast's third quarter call, includes networks such as Bravo, E, MSNBC, Peacock, amongst many others. Now, there's going to go all in, of course, on focusing on streaming growth. In fact, Peacock saw a third quarter subscriber boost of over 3 million, partly due to, of course, their extensive Olympic content and of course their exclusivity to Olympic content as well. Now, despite the fact that many people have been cutting the cord, there still continue to be some challenges. But NBC Universal's cable TV networks have contributed significantly to Comcast's revenue, of course, once again because of the Summer Olympics. But as we know, the Olympics doesn't occur every single year, so it seems like it would make sense that now that the Olympics is behind them, they're starting to make these different changes. But that's only one. The next story I want to talk to you about, though, is all about Starbucks. In fact, it's not just one story. There's several articles I want to share with you because Starbucks is announcing and making some very lofty changes. So, in a show of hands, in comments, of course, go ahead and drop. Have you been to Starbucks lately? Are you a Starbucks fan? What do you order from Starbucks? And maybe what do you hope the new CEO is going to be bringing to your Starbucks experience? Because let me tell you, I really want to hear from you on that. I will be honest with you, I am not someone that goes to Starbucks very often, if at all. But that being said, I know there's a lot of people out there that do. Now, CNBC, Amelia Lucas is reporting that one change I thought was fun that is going to be part of their spending at Starbucks is they're going to be bringing back Sharpies, the Sharpie markers for baristas to write names or messages on cups. That's coming back. The company is expecting to buy about 200,000 Sharpies, I'm guessing black Sharpies, for this initiative. This is part of their larger strategy to go back to reconnecting with customers who really have felt like the chain has moved away from its original personalized experience. So, US locations saw actually a 10% drop in foot traffic last quarter, which means more people are going away because it's no longer the Starbucks that they came to love, right? So, additional changes are going to be including reintroducing ceramic mugs and different condiment bars and that cozy, feel good, inviting furniture. And they want to transform this back into a third place where customers relax and socialize. Third place, I'm guessing that would be your home, your place of work, and now they are third place. So Brian Nicolo, who took over as the CEO in September, saying that they're emphasizing, of course, they want to make sure that you have quicker service. They want to cut down the wait time that you have to under 4 minutes across US cafes. But yeah, this is just sort of the beginning. What they also want to do, and this is now reported also by CNBC, also by Amelia Lucas, is they're also going to stop charging you for those non-dairy milk choices that you have. That's going to start as of November 7th, following years of consumer demand for different types of milk, different types of, this. Now they're hoping that this will help regain some of the customers because when you had to make a different choice, that might have costed you extra. Well, the new CEO says they want to make sure that isn't the case. So dairy alternatives such as almonds, soy, oat milk, things that they've been offering since 1997. Now, even though with increasing demand, some of those have come to a cost, but they're saying that that is not going to be the case. Previously, they had charged customers up to 80 cents extra per drink for a non-dairy option. Now this can just be included. So people seem to be excited about that, and I'm curious to see how you feel about that. But KTLA here in California is also reporting that Starbucks is also going to be discontinuing a few things that curious to see if you liked it or you didn't like it. But I don't know if you remember, we talked about this Olio line of olive oil infused drinks. Well, by early in November, this is now no longer going to be a thing because they launched this in January of earlier this year, January 2024. This was inspired by ex CEO Howard Schultz's appreciation for that Mediterranean type of cuisine. And so this Oleato beverages combine Starbucks coffee with this really interesting extra virgin olive oil. But it seems like a lot of people didn't really enjoy this. There was a lot of backlash on social media. Some people said it caused them digestive discomforts due to like the combination of olive oil and caffeine. And so it's being phased out in most global locations, such as Italy, Japan, even Italy, Japan, China. Um, those places will, I guess, still temporarily still continue to serve this product, but many places are not going to, and that's because of consumer feedback. So I'm curious to see if you ever tried that. Did you ever try olive oil and coffee? And if not at Starbucks, have you ever tried making it at home? Um, yeah. Doesn't sound very good to me. Yeah. Crossec Fighter says, haven't been to a Starbucks at all. I think you're one of the rare people, Joshua, that hasn't been to a Starbucks. I feel like most people have, even someone like myself, who I'll be honest with, I'm not a coffee drinker. I haven't been to Starbucks because they serve other things, and I know all my friends and coworkers and family they all do. So tend to tag along. But with that, let's continue on. I want to talk about Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey, as you know, used to be with Twitter, and they're now with Tidal, making big changes. So Fortune is reporting, Kaylee Hayes there at Fortune is reporting that Jack Dorsey has announced yet another round of layoffs occurring at Tidal. He wants to go ahead and slim down the team and to run this music streaming service back like startup days. So he wants it to be run like a startup under Block's ownership. But this is, of course, their latest cuts include, product management changes, marketing departments entirely are going away, and just having a leaner engineering and design team as well. Now, this shouldn't come to a surprise. We're officially, as of tomorrow, will be in November. So November, October, December, typically the end of the year, you're going to see a lot more news coming around about layoffs. So this layoff round is set to impact about 100 employees, or about a quarter of Tidal's current workforce. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. They're going to be seeing some layoffs. Hopefully, the employees that are laid off, hopefully can find new work very, very soon. But unfortunately, that does seem like it's going to be taking place. Now let's continue on though. The another area that I want to talk about is, of course, something that's been in the news for days and days and weeks. And it's probably, if you've been on social media, this is probably bombarding your social media experience. But let's talk about the election. Now, I'm not going to talk about candidates specific, and I'm not going to talk a detail of what that means for the economy and financial markets, because I just want to wait and to see who wins the election and who is our new president, and then we can deep dive into that. How about we do that, right? But I want to tell you though this, and this is important for you to know. There has been a report that came out of Fortune. Eleanor Pringle has written about a recent survey suggesting that, well, here in America, Americans and your wealth will probably increase no matter who is elected president next week. So, regardless of if it is previous president, our ex-president, President Donald Trump, or our current Vice President, Kamala Harris, whoever is elected president next week, it looks like under both scenarios, you're gonna be okay. They're saying that if Kamala Harris is elected president, that technology, renewable energy sectors are expected to perform strongly, and of course, benefiting from continued green energy initiatives. Now, if Trump is elected, traditional industries such as oil, gas, construction, and different industries such as that are projected to thrive, appealing to investors in commodities and, of course, infrastructure. But the survey does reflect optimism in both scenarios for asset growth across both scenarios, as each candidate's policies do target economic development through different sectors. So that should give you some hope, right? So if you're worried about overall productivity and how the market will react and whatnot, based on this survey and its results, it seems to indicate that regardless of which candidate wins next week, we should be okay. All right. So I think we should bank on that. I think I will say, as an American, born and raised, that it is never a good idea to bet against the United States. And with that in mind, go into the election, make sure you vote, do your research, pick the candidate that is nearest and dearest to your heart, that you believe will serve you well and also our future generation well. And do know and have some, I guess, hopefully the survey and this article's results will give you some peace of mind that you're making a decision that will hopefully still serve you well and your bottom line well. But that being said, let's continue. All right. I want to talk about Google. We talked a little bit about artificial intelligence. So let's go there. And I see Sadiq here. So great to have you here, Sadiq. I feel like, technology, this is perfect. You're here. Let's go in. Now, talking about Google and about sort of like changes and whatnot, Business Insider is reporting Hugh Langley writes that the CEO of Google has revealed that more than a quarter of Google's new code is now being created by AI. That's right, Google, huge tech company. The code that it required in the past so many incredible software engineers and so much talent, much of the talent from all over the globe. Well, a quarter of that is now being written by AI. Now, for those of you who are listening to this, that should give you pause. You should really think about that a little bit. It highlights the company's growing reliance now on artificial intelligence for software development. Now, Google's using this much AI to write code. You can imagine how many other companies could benefit this as well. This shift is reflecting Google's commitment into integrating AI into its core processes, streamlining coding tasks, and of course, enhancing efficiency for its development teams. Now, the CEO has seen AI assisted coding as a critical strategy for accelerating innovation and reducing errors. And of course, just freeing up human engineers for higher level problem solving. What's think is really important to hear about that is this. AI can do so much. It still takes a human to go in and fine tune it, make sure it's not just code, not just good code and correctly written code, but it's also has good usability. And that's just demonstrates in the sort of the pairing up of technology with the human element. It's not like AI is going to completely do away with human activities as of now. We don't know how that will look in the future, but as of right now, I think we can all agree there still needs to be a lot of humanness uh, usage and clearing up and making changes before you can actually use your AI generated code or written content or emails or anything like that, right? Use it as a tool, just like anything else. But right now, that's a good way to do it. Now, lastly, we're going to talk a little bit because we're going into the end of the year. I want to share this article on CNBC by my friend Kay Dory. It's a great one, talking about some of the things that you can do before the end of the year. Now, of course, I'm going to have a lot more content about this, but I want to tease you this a little bit. Since it's Halloween and you're thinking about the end of the year, here are some things that can definitely benefit you, right? As 2024 ends, there are some things that you can consider, such as maximizing your 401k contribution. You can adjust your paycheck withholdings, and you can even consider bunching your deductions. And there's a lot more from where that comes from. But that's just giving you a few tips before the end of the year. And I'm going to continue to bring a few more before every episode here as we go into the end of the year. So that'll tell you something. If you continue and you watch every episode, you'll be able to catch a lot of these tips as you go into the end of the year, benefiting not only you, but also your path towards financial independence. And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope that you're having a wonderful Thursday and you enjoy the rest of your Halloween. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button so you can stay updated for all the latest content. If you want to watch some previous episodes of Level Up Live with Winnie Sun, you can always check out some episodes on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Roku, LG, and many other streaming platforms. With that, I hope that you have a beautiful weekend. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much, Joshua, Sadiq, and so many others for being here, contributing, and just sharing this show. And thank you so much for tagging at Winnie Sun so I know when you do that. With that, see you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye now.